Welcome back guys, JDog here at SeekaHost, and today we are going to be going through what is SEO. As a beginner you might not understand what SEO is, how you can increase your SEO, which will make your rankings increase, it will make you score higher up on the search engines, which means you're going to be found a lot easier. There's lots of little methods that we use to include on-page SEO, off-page SEO, and we'll be going through all of them in this video. So let's get started first with what is SEO. SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization. This means that you're creating your website and you're optimizing it as much as you possibly can for search engines to want to suggest you as an answer. This is vital, especially if you do want to rank. Obviously, if you're just doing a blog just for fun, maybe just for family, that's fine. However, if you actually want to rank your content, you want it to start appearing in Google and Bing and other search engines, you're going to need to start adding SEO. So let's get right into it, and I'm going to be using one of my websites here just as an example. So let's start off really quickly with just explaining as well what on-page SEO is, because that's what we're going to start with. On-page SEO. On-page SEO means stuff on your website, what you've done on your website to make it score higher and to make it much more optimized for search engines. The way that this works is that search engines are going to sift through all of your website, all of the content. They're going to suggest stuff depending on what the wording is, what people are searching. This can go as simply as stuff on your menu, stuff written on here. So obviously if you have Minecraft written all over your website, it's much more likely to be suggested for somebody searching for Minecraft, of course. So let's get into on-page SEO. So on-page SEO, like I've already mentioned, is stuff on your website. This is going to be anything from content, images we'll get to shortly, and it's basically search engines reading through the entirety. What they do is they send crawlers, and these crawlers will go through all of your website. They'll read every part of it, all the metadata and the actual content itself, and they'll start to see what sort of relevance you are, who can they send to you, and who would you be perfect to match up for with an answer. If somebody's asking something and you're relevant to it, they need to basically link the two together to show them your answer and send them to you. Now this isn't just about blogging, so obviously blogging will be a major part of this because you can blog quite regularly. The more you blog, the more content you put out there, the more keywords that you researched. That's really going to help your search engine optimization. And whilst we're talking about keywords, I should explain that too. Keywords is a very other vital part because this is what people are searching for. Keywords might be anything from this post here. Amazon voucher was the actual keyword for this one. A lot of people search for Amazon voucher. So by having an article with lots of things throughout the images and the text, you're going to be increasing the SEO of anybody searching for Amazon voucher, because you're going to have it throughout the content. When Google or other search engines read through it, they're going to realize that this potentially could be an answer for them. The more people which then do interact, click on it and use it, are going to make it more popular, because the search engines are going to realize that actually this might be a good article, so we can send more people this way. You can do this on pages, posts, anything on your website will basically get read. So let's just get started off with the post first. Let's just go through the post, see how you can add on-page SEO to the post itself. So let's get started with this one here. It's how to install Origins. It's Minecraft related and a mod pack, which is just an extra feature that you can add on. However, what we've done here to increase the on-page SEO here is that first of all we researched the keyword. So I researched the keyword and what's been searched for at the moment. I also had some knowledge on this, so I decided to write an article about it. Now obviously we want to be as optimized as possible. We want this post to show, we want everything on our website really to show for what it is. So let's get started with this post, and this of course will apply for pages as well. As you're creating pages, you should also be thinking of the SEO the whole way through. So I researched the keyword, which is going to be install Minecraft Origins mod, and what I want to do first is make sure that the pictures also have SEO running through them. Now you might be thinking, well, what do you mean by that? Well, pictures themselves actually hold some data within them. If I go to edit the post here, let's go to the back end and see the actual picture itself and see what we've added to it. So from the back end where you edit, let's just go down to a picture, or any picture really. As you can see, I'm going to click on it, and right here on the alternate text you're going to see that I also have my keywords running through there. So these are words that I want to rank for. This is words that anybody, when they search on Google or other search engines, I want them to be finding my content. So after I researched that, and if you're not sure how to research it, you've got paid programs like SEMrush or Ahrefs. You've also got a free one called Keyword Tracker, which will give you 10 a day. So there's different ways. You can also use Google, you can use Trends. Just basically do as much research as you can to find out the actual wording of what you want people to find you with, because obviously you might have a really good article, however if there's no searches online for it, it's not that it's pointless, however you just won't get much traffic through it. What you want to find is a good balance of a lot of people searching and not a lot of articles with that particular content, so then you can fill in the gaps. Search engines will prefer that. If you've got good valuable content, they'll send people your way, so you're fully optimized to start getting more and more visitors. visitors. So like I said with the alternate text here, you got how to install Origins mod with Fabric. Obviously you don't want to just keep typing the same thing into every single picture. You want to make sure that you got the keyword or keywords, because it can't, you know, sometimes you can have many different keywords throughout an article, or you might be focusing on a main one. As you can see here, if I scroll down, I'm going to have the same sort of thing. So I've got how to install Origins mod human ability. That's because it's also got some relevance to the picture. You don't want it to be completely irrelevant to the picture. That could get reported. Let's say if somebody's searching for images on Google and they see an image and they're like, well, this has nothing to do at all with the wording that I've just put in, they could report it. Then Google will start to realize that you're just stuffing in keywords just to obviously boost your SEO. So just make sure that has got something to do with it. As you can see here, if I go down again, we have the same main keyword, which is how to install Origins mod. However, we got the arachnid ability, so it has still got relevance to this picture and it is describing this picture somewhat. It's also something to do with that particular mod. Now don't worry, you don't have to understand anything about Minecraft here. I'm just simply trying to explain how you can add the SEO into the actual images themselves. Another tip is actually to use original images. Images that have been used over and over won't have the best SEO score, because search engines have already seen this images over and over. They won't immediately connect it to a spam score, but obviously if you do keep using the same ones, it can look a little bit spammy, or obviously like you haven't got valuable or unique content. The more unique pictures you have, the better. Also, little things like rename the actual file name. Before you upload it, or when you upload it, change your file name. It might just say screenshot 1522. However, let's say somebody does click on your image on your website, it takes them up to another page or opens it in another browser or page. They're going to get the URL here of whatever screenshot it is. So just make sure that your keywords are running through there too. Another thing to do with images before we move on from them, to keep them search engine optimized, is size. So with size here, although it might be much easier just to drag and drop and make it different sizes, it's actually much better to go with the default sizes. As you can see here on my right, I've got image size, we've got thumbnail, full. Obviously depending on the picture you might have medium. Now WordPress and search engines like to search in certain sizes. Stuff that comes out of that certain size isn't quite so optimized, so make sure that you keep it to the default sizes. That really is going to help. Next up, let's go through text, and we'll still keep using this as an example, because again it will work as posts or pages. So like we mentioned, the search engines will basically read through all your text, see where keywords are, and then if people are searching them, they can be sending them to you depending on how good your content is and many other things that we're going to discuss throughout this video. So it's very important to get your wording right. Make sure that you are researching keywords again, because again you don't want to be making these really great articles. However, you're putting the wrong wording in, so the people that are actually searching for that subject aren't finding you because they're searching different terms. Let's say if I want to put an example, so I want to put an article about how to add GDPR to your website. Most people will probably search how to add GDPR to my website. However, if I was to title it how to add, and I don't actually know what GDPR stands for unfortunately, but you know, if I was to add the whole context of that, or maybe that in a different term that people didn't really understand, I wouldn't get people actually visiting my site or my post, because they're not searching for that. So realistically, they're not going to find my article. You've got to be looking for what they are searching for. For instance, if I go ahead and search this keyword, GDPR, you're going to see lots of different variations. You're also going to see the volume. So simply GDPR is going to be 74,000 searches. However, it's 100% difficulty, which means it's super difficult to rank for. There are loads of posts about this subject using only that keyword. You can then start to break it down a little bit more, so you can see we have other options here. So who does GDPR apply for? This only gets 590, however it's half the hardness. So although you are losing some people through not so many people searching, you might be easier to find, which means you're going to be able to get some more traffic. Doing research like this is super vital if you want to start adding SEO to your website, because you're going to want to know what people are searching for. Now again, same as the images, what we're going to do is we're going to find ones that work for us. Let's say who does GDPR apply to, and we want to then start adding that to our text. So this is going to apply within our headings, it's going to apply within the actual text itself. You don't want to be using it every other sentence, but let's say for instance I might add it in this paragraph right here. I might wait a little while down here, I might mention it again, and so on. It basically runs throughout the article. Now sometimes when you do search on Google, it will literally show you how it searches for it, in terms that it will show you the content, it will show you a little paragraph, and it also have highlighted the words that you search for. That's a perfect way of explaining what keywords are. It's showing you what you're searching for, and obviously it's trying to bring up anything up on the internet with that wording within it. Now don't forget that you can apply all these things, but you still need valuable content either on your page or your posts to really sort of optimize yourself. Making really short, sharp posts isn't going to be that great. Making slightly longer ones, but actually of good value, so it's not just blabbering on about pretty much nothing. It's got lots of information, handy links. That's going to really increase your SEO score. So like we said, you add it within the text. So obviously we've done the images, and we now want to make sure that our post has the keywords throughout the whole post. We got it in H2, H3 headings, not every single one, but a lot of them. We can also add it throughout the text, finish it off in the conclusion, and generally make sure to get your keywords throughout everywhere. Other things for SEO as well, it's actually what is great is to download something called the All-in-One SEO, or you can call Yoast SEO. What that will do is right at the bottom of the page, it will also give you a nice score. So if we go to general here, it's going to tell us how we can increase our SEO score a little bit more by doing different things. As you can see here, we have content length. It's a good content length because it likes to be a certain length. We've got a meta description length, which isn't too bad. Even stuff like this bit here, so we want to make sure that it's between 120 to 160 characters. Why is this? This is because when it appears, as you can see here, this is how it's going to appear when the page or somebody searches the page on Google. If you have too many characters, you won't be able to read the whole thing. You also want to make sure that it's punctual. This is what people are first going to see before they click onto your article. So this is very important that you get the wording right, you get your keywords, and you make sure that you're basically stating that they can find what they want to find in this article, just in this very short, sweet little section. This is going to be what brings people in. With the plugins, it's also going to give you stuff like other, readability issues. Are you using your passive voice too much? Are your sentence lengths too long? You don't want to be making huge, massive sentences. Make sure that you got your grammar correct. You're using commas, you're using full stops, different sentences. You're using different paragraphs. You don't want to keep repeating yourself. Again, just make sure that it's a very nicely structured and also written piece. You want to make sure that you have videos and images and stuff like that. You want to make sure that it's really nice. Another thing with wording as well is to keep it interactive. So let's say, for instance, if we go to update and let's just go and view this, one really neat thing that you can either do manually or you can just download a little plugin to do it is adding a menu, a content menu. This is because it's going to put all of your titles in a nice easy place for the people to click and find. As you can see here, all of my headings all arranged nicely like this. Now this does two things. First of all, you can make sure easily that you have the keywords in the titles, so you're increasing your optimization that way, but also interaction. Interaction is very important. Search engines really will see, and how they're trying to read it is, are you interacting with the page? Are you spending time reading the page? Is it valuable to you? And all these little things. So you basically need to try and tick all the boxes here. So let's say someone comes on your page, you've got quite a long, in-depth article, but they want to find a certain section. The best way to do that is making a table of content. So if I wanted to find specifically this bit, we've got it in the table of content now. What the viewer's going to do is they're going to be looking first, they're going to click on that, and then they're going to read this part. What that has done is it's increased your SEO just because, first of all, they've interacted. Now they're going to be spending time from it. So it's starting to look like a good, valuable article, as long as you actually have some good information for them to read. Links is another important one. What you have is you have internal and you have external links. Let's say for this page in particularly, what would be good if I wanted to increase the SEO even more is actually put an external link to the download for the Origins mod or whatever I'm talking about. That will provide a nice external link going elsewhere, because although you might be thinking, well, I'm losing people from my website, it's also giving them helpful information. So if people have used you to be able to get somewhere else, you've actually helped them along the way, that's also going to be a good score. Again, as this pops up, it reminds me to actually remind you that stuff like little pop-ups can be good for SEO, however, that depends. So let's say they're actually quite interesting, they've got some good points to them, or maybe you want to subscribe and it's easy to click off. That's going to be quite good for your website, because first of all, you're going to get subscribers, you might get some shares, so it might be something to say, share this article. However, if they do find it hard to unclick off this, it blocks the whole screen or something like that, that's going to be bad for your SEO, because search engines like people to have a good, easy time and to find their content easily. So back to the links. So we've got external links, and although, like we said, it might not be the best thing, because you might be thinking, well, I'm losing people off my site, you've actually provided them a good, handy service, which search engines will now remember and go, okay, well, last time we sent him here, he managed to find his answer. through some of the stuff on your site. And another good thing which really increases your SEO is having internal links. This is because within your page you can have other inner links that will take you throughout your other website, meaning that you're going to increase interactivity because they're clicking on it, and also you're having your other pages and posts viewed. You're sharing them really well. You got to have it obviously with relevance as well. If I'm talking about something right here, and you know that you have a specific article about this, you might want to leave a link there to another page of yours. Also, by having internal links, you're also increasing again how much people interact, because they're using the buttons to grow throughout your website. That means they're interacting, they're reading some of the content, and of course they're spending more time on there. Time on your website is an important thing, of course, because the more time they spend, the more the search engines realize that this is a good one. You can also start to think of other things that might keep people on a little bit longer. Let's say embedding videos. As we said earlier, we have images and videos. So let's say you make content, or you have other content that you can put up on YouTube or something like that, Facebook, you can then embed it into your site. So for instance, if I want to check some stuff, what I like to do myself, because I do make content, is I like to put my episodes on here, I like to put my tutorials. That way anybody that comes on the site is going to be using a few features. So first of all, they're going to be using, they're going to be on the site to start with. They might use the search, or they might find a certain page. Once they do find it, they're going to find a navigation menu, which we're going to click on. It's going to take them right to where they want to be, and then they've also got a video underneath. Now if we press play and we just turn the volume off, you're going to see the video plays on the site. So unless they actually click through to YouTube, you're going to see that now they're spending lots of time on your site, they've interacted with it, and now they're going to spend some time watching a video on it, which again increases how much time they're spending and increases your SEO in turn. Other things you might want to consider is stuff like forums, because forums is almost like a little thing within your website which people can log on, they can feel like they have their own little space, they can leave information, write stuff, reply to stuff. However, more interaction, more time on your website, which is making search engines think that this is obviously a better website, and it's worth sending more people there. Off-page SEO is a way of sharing your website through other, of course, off-page. It's not going to be on your website, it's going to be off your website. Stuff like this is great for socials. If you have a Facebook, you might have an Instagram, you might want to be sharing your website's URL on forums, because the search engines are also going to count this. So let's say for instance I share a post here on Facebook. So I've just shared one of our videos a little bit earlier. Now the more people interact with this, if they like it, they put a little love heart, they comment on it, again this is going to be really great off-page SEO, because Google can see that people are linking into our website. Not only that, people are also interacting with the link into our website, so everything is basically getting read, and they're using that to judge whether to send people to you or not. So let's say you have a really good social following, it's really going to pay off for you to start sharing a lot on your websites, on your social following, getting people, because not only will that will also increase traffic coming into your site, because they're going to come straight through your link. It's also going to increase the SEO, so just organically search engines will also start sending more people, so they can see you're starting to get higher traffic. Now again, this can be done with almost any social site, whether you use Discord, Twitter, LinkedIn, other websites also provide you other ways of linking from their website to yours. You can buy backlinks, you can use a PBN. A PBN is a completely different thing, and we'll talk about this now a little bit, won't go over too much. We've got lots of videos on PBNs if you want to learn more. However, SEO is also great if you've got lots of links coming to you. Let's say for instance you have 10 different websites all putting a link to your website. That's also going to get read really well. They're going to see, wow, these people have made a bit of a difference, people are wanting to link to them, they must have interesting articles, good videos or content, so let's send people through to them. So a PBN is basically a way of creating your own backlinks. This is by creating a network of blogs all on different IPs, using different addresses, name servers, different emails and stuff like that, and you basically make your network to then start sending links to your main website, which we then call a money website. That's because that's the one that we want to grow, so we start creating these really good links with different posts on expired domains. Anyway, that's quite a lot to go through today, so if you do want to watch that, I'll have something popping up now on the screen which will explain a little bit more about PBNs. We also have a Udemy course on it, so check that out if that is what you want to go into. However, you don't need to go that way for links. You can simply go ahead and you can also email other people. So let's say, for instance, my website here is to do with Minecraft, gaming, and some WordPress stuff. If I now found another website, we start to chat to the owner perhaps, or maybe we send an email over saying, oh, I've left a link to you a few times. Could you potentially leave a link back to my website? I really like your stuff. And you might get the chance of them going, actually, oh yeah, thank you very much. Here's a link. I'll leave a link in a post to your website. They might talk some good things about you. and that's a nice, more organic way of link building rather than having to create them yourself. You can also go ahead and ask. However, this does take longer. You will get a lot more no's, but it's still worth doing, especially if you can get a really high domain rating site. So let's say, for instance, a big forum, a government site. Obviously you can't go ahead and ask government sites to link to you. However, depending what niche you're in, you might get a link from them anyway. If you've got some really interesting information and it's in the relevance of what they're trying to show people information for, you might get a link from them. Same with educational sites, .com sites are good to get a link for too. So before we finish the video, I just want to recap. Obviously, make sure that you're doing your keyword research. Make sure that every page and every post has the wording that you want in it. You know, if people want to search for Minecraft mod packs, you should have a Minecraft mod packs written on there. Maybe a few things associated with it. Make sure that you got your links, content, pictures. Make sure that you're posting regularly with the keywords within them, and you will see how your SEO starts to increase, your traffic starts to increase. If you're running Google ads or anything like that, you're going to see your revenue go up. And all really it takes is, as you're building it, just to have these things in mind, just to add little, you know, alt text to the images. Make sure you're adding your keywords throughout your content, adding it to headings, making sure that your content is long enough, and all the things that we've gone through throughout this video. So thanks for watching. I really hope that's helped. For any questions, leave them down in the comments. And of course, check out the rest of our YouTube for any other WordPress, PBN, or of course Minecraft related videos. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.